1 cent is still my price target for when during this bull run, even though that's not financial advice. And it's beginning to wake up as of right now. And I do like what I'm seeing, but I still do believe that better days are ahead. Now, when I take a look at something like this, some people may be wondering, okay, why is WEN potentially waking up? Why is there a lot of attention to it suddenly? Take a look at also something like Maneki, which is another Solana-based meme coin, much like WEN. Now, I think a major reason why is because the anticipation of what the Solana ETF could bring, more specifically in Canada. And the reason why I think this could be so amazing is because imagine what sort of liquidity and what sort of attention that could really bring to something like Solana, especially in the long term. Because even if, let's say, no one cares about the Solana ETF, just even the anticipation of it alone and also just the hype surrounding it. And I think naturally, as a result of that, something like WEN and Maneki, and of course, I think a bunch of other Solana-based meme coins could really just go along with the ride. We all know what the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF did when it comes to just the whole space overall. Solana, it's more underrated than that because many people that I know out there, they only know two projects within this space, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's pretty much it. But then I think it's about time something like Solana really gained that attention. When I take a look at WEN, it's also not a useless meme coin, contrary to some people who may think it's a little bit useless, but I do disagree with that. Now, the reason being is because if we take a look at it, right, there's something called WNS, which is actually, it stands for When New Standard. And the amazing thing about this is the fact that if we take a look at it, we'll see that WNS is a fully open source framework for minting NFTs and paying royalties to creators of those NFTs. Not to mention, WNS extends the token extensions program, seamlessly integrating its features into the heart of Solana's core functions. It also has a very low minting cost. Now, this, statement right here, or when I talk about this, some people may think, okay, who cares? It's useless. WEN has no future when it comes to this. And is the adoption going to be the greatest of all time? Absolutely not. I mean, come on, I'm going to be realistic here. I'm bullish on WEN, but this isn't really going to make a large impact. But it doesn't matter because, in my opinion, a meme coin, first of all, isn't really expected to have a good use case anyways. And second of all, people do care about the effort. They care about the thought that is put in. 1 cent when it comes to WEN, keep in mind, is currently around a 310x from here. May seem a little bit hard to believe as of right now, but if it were to go to that price, again, 1 cent, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $7.3 billion. Now, let's say for simplicity's sake, we make it $7.5 billion, so we round it up a little bit. Even that's not too much to ask for. Take a look at Dogecoin reaching over $80 billion, their market cap back in 2021. Shiba Inu that year as well, reaching around $40 billion. Back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million, according to Crypto.com research. I believe that this bull run could be a lot more special. I believe that it could be a lot more dynamic, but it's just a waiting game. And I think as Solana does begin to gain a lot more attention, I think this time around, something like Maneki, something like WEN, could hypothetically go along with the ride. And something like WEN also historically has been proven to gain some attention when the market is doing good. And some other meme coins out there, they don't have this track record. Now, it's not a clear indicator for success moving forward because some other projects out there, they don't really do anything that suddenly, boom, they go up, right? We've seen that in a lot of cases. So it's not a great indicator. But I think if anything, it showcased that, hey, at least it's done something. So it's only fair to assume that hypothetically in the future, it could maybe gain some attention as well, which is why I still believe in this. And altcoins usually, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. And the last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year, so 18 months from then would actually mean around October this year. Now, this is no surefire date. It's not a guarantee. It's more so just a estimate based off historical data. But I'm still going to pay attention to that nonetheless because the way I take a look at it is that I just have a hard time believing that the most recent peak that we saw when it comes to Bitcoin, altcoins, meme coins, just generally speaking, I have a hard time believing that's the actual quote-unquote peak because how can it? Again, when you have over 600 million crypto owners, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. Yeah, I just don't think that was the peak. I think better days are ahead, and I'm going to control what I can control as of right now, accumulate more WEN, hold, and I just wait. That's it. And I think better days are ahead because 1 cent wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.